We are going to learn about word tables inside out in this video. Why are tables required? You want to represent something which is tabular, rows and columns. But that's one part of the story when it comes to tables. This is a newsletter, this is a brochure, and this is a resume. Obviously, you will not see any table, but if you go one step closer and enable view grid lines, then you will see lots of tables. This is how tables are used for layout rather than just representing data. There are 8 ways of creating tables. I have created a separate video for that. You can watch that later. It's important to understand the difference between borders and grid lines. When you create a table, it already has a border. Otherwise, it wouldn't be visible, isn't it? If you don't want the border, you can go to Table Design menu, Borders, and switch off the border. Now, this is not going to work. Currently, only one cell was selected. If you really want to get rid of borders, you have to select the whole table and then say No Border. Now, the table is there. If you click outside, you won't even know there is a table. But if you click somewhere there, it's going to show you the table select icon and the bottom right icon, which is for dragging and resizing the table. Now, if you really want to understand where each row and column is, but you don't want to put a border, then we have an alternative mechanism. Now you go to the layout tab and choose view grid lines. So grid line is just a toggle and that works at document level and never gets printed. So enable grid lines when necessary, disable them when you're done. Now here is a problem. I added a table right in the beginning of the page, no place to write title. Don't worry, just go to the real first cell and first position, press enter. It will create space above and then you can add the title. No need for copy paste. Now, usually tables are added as a part of the document, but they can also be added to header footer. I'm going to go to the header and insert a table. I'm just going to add a table with one cell in it. Now, if I want, I can drag this table and it'll automatically increase the size of the header. I don't want that. I want it to be a part of the header, but actually encroach upon the document itself. For that, I have to go to Layout Properties, look at Table Properties, and say currently there is no text wrapping. I want it to wrap around, but there is no text in the header. No problem. The text in the main document can also wrap around this. And now when I click OK and rearrange this, notice what is happening now. This becomes a part of a header. So I can put some design element here and my rest of the text in the document is wrapping around it. Now the best part is this is a part of a header. So if I add a new page, that part will automatically appear and I continue to work on the document as expected. So this is a very common method used for creating professional looking white papers, reports, and documents. Tables have their own menu. So when you click inside a table, you will see 2 tabs, Table Design and Table Layout. If you click outside, they go away. Both these tabs have amazing options which we'll explore as we go along. Now it's time to format the table. The first thing you should do is go to Design tab and choose a style. It's a good idea to choose styles which have alternating light and dark bands. Why is that so? Because if there are a lot of columns, it's easier to correlate. Then you look at these options. They are checkboxes. Do you want to show header row differently or not? Generally, yes. Do you want to show first column differently or not? Depends on the data. So choose the ones which are relevant to your data. Next thing is layout. I would recommend you change the margins. Select the whole table, go to the cell margin and add a top and bottom margin. 0.2 is generally enough. Now the same table is much more readable. We can add pictures to tables and they behave quite well. When you add a picture, table adjusts accordingly. Even if it's taller or broader, doesn't really matter. Now this is a really large picture, but I have resized it. Now, after having added the picture to the table, can you resize? Yes. And the table will try its best to adjust itself. But beyond a point, the picture is going to get cut off. Now, did you know you can have tables inside tables? Just click inside a table and again go to Insert Table, add a table. It's that simple. Another method is to use the Draw Table option, which is under Insert Table. Now the mouse cursor changes to a pencil and you can create tables like this. Usually, when you put a table inside a table, the outer table is for layout purpose. So it's a good idea to make sure it doesn't have any margins. So select the outer table, go to Layout tab, Cell Margins, and make sure top, bottom, left, right, all of them are 0. and then adjust the other tables so that they fit snugly. Now let's see how to add and edit data inside a table. Let's say I want to add some rows or columns. The first thing to notice is these plus signs, which are in between rows and columns. So click on them to add one or more rows. If you wanted to add multiple rows, look at the cursor. When you go on the left side of the table, the cursor changes, and that becomes a row selection cursor. Now if I click, a row is selected. I can drag and select multiple rows, and now if I click on the plus sign, 3 rows will be added at a time. The same thing works for columns. To move the cursor around, you press Tab to go to the next cell and Shift Tab to go to the previous one. One of the things which is commonly not known is you can do copy paste across cells. So let's say I want to put a status called pending. Now I want to copy this across rows. So select and now select multiple cells and paste it. And finally, once you select a cell or a number of cells, you can also drag drop. So for example, I have selected 4 cells. Now in the selection, I'm dragging and putting it here. Notice the whole thing got changed. And if you wanted to copy it, press Ctrl key and drag. Now this is a lifesaver shortcut I'm going to show you. If you wanted to move this row here, you would generally select it, cut it, paste it, and very often it doesn't work the way you want. So don't struggle with it. Just click inside the row you want to move. No need to select anything. Just click and Shift Alt, up arrow or down arrow. It automatically selects the row, adjusts everything, no cut paste. And right now I am just moving one row. If I wanted to, I could have selected multiple rows and done the same thing. Now be careful, if you overdo it, it's going to go outside the table. By the way, this works not just in a table, but in Word paragraphs, PowerPoint paragraphs, Outlook paragraphs, OneNote paragraphs as well. Shift, Windows, up arrow and down arrow. Now let's talk about fitting the table. Very often, when we copy paste from Excel or web page, table goes outside the page. Now in this case, don't try to do it manually. Just click inside the table, trust Microsoft. You have a problem, the solution is there. Obviously, this is a layout problem. Look at all the buttons. You will find something called auto fit. Now page is also called a window. So auto fit to window will solve the problem. This is okay. But actually, if you look at it, there is so much space wasted. We don't need such broad columns here. So although it is fitting into the page, it's still not looking nice. So what do you really want to do in this case? I want to fit it, but based on the content rather than the page size. So auto fit to contents will do that for you. This looks very good right now, but let me add a long sentence somewhere. Now when the width increases, it's trying to dynamically adjust the columns, and that may be very irritating. So let's say at this stage we wanted to say, this is how I want it, and I don't want Word to adjust anything from now onwards. No problem. Now go to layout again and say fixed column width, means freeze the column widths the way they are now. Now if I add a long sentence here, see what happens. So that is how you use the auto fit table option effectively. Now let's talk about how to wrap text around table. Just click inside the table, go to layout and choose properties, because we are talking about the whole table and the way it behaves. And here by default text wrapping is off. All that you have to do is choose the around option and the text will automatically go around. If you wanted to, you could have adjusted it in the center as well. By the way, once this is done, you can just move the table around and the text will rearrange itself. And if you want more precise control over exactly where the table goes, go to properties again, choose positioning button, and there you have explicit control about the relative or absolute position horizontally as well as vertically. Now let's talk about row heights. Of course, we want all the rows to have same height. It looks good. In case they don't have same height, don't do anything manually. Don't go and struggle with this height setting. Just click anywhere inside the table and click one button, distribute rows. It finds the tallest row and makes everyone equally tall. As simple as that. Now in this case, just to complete the topic, ideally what else should we do? Auto fit to contents. Now it looks even better. And notice this one has 2 things in it. Here it is only 1. So it's looking aligned to top. Ideally, I want it aligned to middle. So we say center left. And now this looks good. This is a frustrating problem which is very common, unfortunately. In this table, everything looks okay except for one particular row. And whatever I struggle to do, it's not getting solved because actually this is not a table problem at all. Remember, text is finally a paragraph. If I right click here, I won't see paragraph option because I'm inside a table. So table menus take precedence. So now how do I figure out what is the problem with this paragraph? Click inside the cell. Now you go to the Home tab. You will see the group of buttons called paragraph. And then this small little thing is called a dialog launcher. It'll open the paragraph dialog and then go to indents and spacing. And you will suddenly realize, oh, somehow 12-point spacing has been added. So just remove it and life is good. What is the conclusion? In case some problem is not getting solved with table formatting, you may find the solution in paragraph formatting. This is the most frustrating problem with tables. Somehow one row is breaking across pages and it looks disgusting. Many people have found many methods. People press Ctrl Enter, new page, bad idea. Split table, bad idea. Enter, enter, enter manually. Really? No. Yes, the row is breaking. We want to handle it. But wait, we don't want to handle only this row. Tomorrow another row may break. So we want to tell this table, don't break any row. How do you do that? It's a table level thing. So select the table. Now it's a layout problem. It's a behavior problem. So properties, this is a row level problem. And now that solution is staring at us. By default, tables do allow rows to break. Now we are saying, no, don't allow. Let the entire row go to the next page. Problem solved. And as though this is not enough, tomorrow, let's say something gets deleted above and there is enough space for that row to come up, it will come up. Problem solved. It was not a problem. It's a feature and many people have not realized it. That's all. Now another common problem. I have a long table, goes across pages and the header is not going to repeat obviously. So what do? I copy paste. But that's very sad because the moment anything is added above the table, anywhere in the document, all those copy pastes are going to move around and then you're wasting further time repairing it. So don't copy paste. So what's the solution? Make sure you have clicked inside the first row. Then go to the layout tab and you will see repeat header rows. Remember, if your cursor is not in the first row, this option is inactive. So first row, click repeat header rows and job is done. In fact, when you change anything in the header, it will reflect automatically. You can only edit the first row. Others are automatically managed copies. Incidentally, if you add pictures or icons, those will also be treated as a part of header and copied automatically. But there is one more scenario you have to look at. Because in some tables, you need multiple rows to be the header. So not to worry, select both the rows or select any number of rows as long as the first row is included and then click on repeat header rows. So in this case, actually this row is also a header. And now you know how to manage headers in long tables. Enough about rows. Now let's talk about columns. Here is an obvious problem. I have multiple columns and I want them to have same width. Don't even think of doing it manually. Obviously, the solution has to be in the layout column, and by now you have guessed, distribute columns. One click does the job. Now look at another scenario of column widths. This column has adequate width. I don't want to adjust it. But these two columns should have the same width. In which case, what do? I select the desired columns. When you bring down your cursor from top, you will see this small little arrow. That's the column selection cursor. Select both of them. Now go to the layout tab, distribute columns. Job done. In layout menu, there is a sophisticated sort menu. If the table does have a heading row, that means each column has a distinct header, you use the default sort by, and all the columns are shown here. In case the table did not have a header, so we use column 1, column 2, column 3, and then the type of data in it. And then you can have multiple sorts. So first I'm going to sort on column 1, for example, then on column 2. And that's how it will work. Merge cells and split cells. I think these are very common operations. But really, when you merge cells, that border is getting erased. And when you split cells, there is an extra border being added wherever the split occurred. And why is it important to know? Because once you know it, you can start using eraser and draw table option. Eraser means equivalent of merge cells. Just drag that eraser wherever, whatever it touches is gone. It's like merge cells. And draw is reverse of that. You draw vertical or horizontal lines, which essentially become columns or rows. And then you can create very complex tables very quickly by using a combination of draw and erase. Now let's understand about cell alignment. If you go to this area, alignment, it becomes very confusing. So just understand one simple thing. Alignment is vertical as well as horizontal. This thing capacity is centered. I could have made it left aligned or right aligned as well. That's horizontal alignment. Now I'm making it centered. Same way, vertically, we could have aligned it on top, at bottom, or center. And that is what is shown here. First word talks about vertical alignment and second word talks about horizontal alignment. What does that mean? Vertically it's on top and horizontally it's on left. So now maybe I want it in the center vertically and left aligned. This is how it will look. And if I want it centered both way, align center. Only one word because horizontally as well as vertically they are inside. So generally for headings, you will put it as align center. Now for the rest of it, it's up to you. For example, these were long names and you wanted them to be easily correlated to the numbers. I would have probably centered them vertically and right aligned them. And of course, the numbers also will have to be centered but left aligned so that this correlates easily. So once you get the idea, you can use it to your advantage. Now let's understand borders and shading. When you use styles, the borders and shading is automatically taken care of for you, so you don't have to bother. But in case you want to customize the tables, then you need to know about it. Shading basically allows you to choose any of the available colors, and this is a cell specific attribute. So if you want to do it for multiple cells, first select and then choose the shade. You can customize borders by choosing a particular pen color, choosing the size, and then choosing what borders you want. For example, now I'm saying I only want inner borders. In your versions of Word, when I choose a border style, the cursor becomes like a paintbrush because it's in border painter mode. The currently selected border style will be applied. Now, one word of caution. If you're going to use styles and you're going to customize your table, choose the style first, then do customization. If you do customization first and then choose styles, choosing the style will override the customization. Usually when we want calculations, we'll use Excel and then copy paste the table in Word. I understand that. But you must know that inside Word, there are a lot of functions available. So some of the work which you are currently doing in Excel can potentially happen in Word, giving you more flexibility. How do you go about doing it? Well, you go to a cell. In the layout tab, you have formulas. And then it shows you what function you want to use. There are many functions available and the syntax is a little different. In fact, this table already has formulas. The shaded cells have formulas. Currently, they're showing the results. Let me show you the formulas. So now you can see product left means this multiplied by this. Same formula, 3 places. And then quantity, I want total. So sum above. Price, I want average. And again, grand total. So like this, functions can be used very well inside word formulas. In fact, I have a detailed video on this topic. I'm sure you'll love it. So this is a table I use very often. I use it for writing scripts for my videos and content. Now, first time I wrote it, second time I copy pasted it from somewhere. Not good, not efficient. So create it first time, select the table. Now, even though we have a table selected, you go to insert table and quick tables. Usually you will see a long list here, which I've deleted those, and click on save selection to quick table gallery. And now I'm going to store it with a name. I'll call it script. And tomorrow, in any document, I need script. I go to insert, I go to table. I don't create a regular table. Quick table, one click gives me the script. So any table which is reusable, you must save as quick tables. It's a very powerful feature. It saves time and increases standardization. If you use tables extensively, you will need these buttons very regularly. They are available in the layout tab. They are also available in the right click menu, but there is a third, better and faster way. For example, I realized that these 4 buttons I need very frequently. What should I do? Right click on the button, say add to quick access toolbar. This is where it lands. If you see something like this, it takes too much space. That is called command labels. So right click on it and say hide command labels. And then you can create a custom toolbar exactly containing the tools you need. This is my quick access toolbar. I have exported it, uploaded it, and the link is in the description. You can download it from there and use my custom toolbar if you like. How will you import it? You right click on the ribbon, go to customize. At the bottom, you will choose import customization file option. Use the file which I have provided, or you can just start from scratch and keep adding frequently used buttons in the quick access toolbar and create your own. Remember, quick access toolbar is not just for Word. You should create it for all other Office tools as well to improve your efficiency and also share it with your colleagues. So you must have understood by now that practically everything you can think of and more is available under Word tables menus. Every button there is satisfying a need. It's a benefit waiting to be discovered. And finally, everything which I've shown you in Word tables practically applies exactly the same way for Outlook. Why? Because Outlook uses Word as the email editor. If you found this useful, please share it with as many people as you can. If you have any queries, feel free to put it in comments. I'll be happy to help you. You know why I'm doing all this. I'm not doing this for money. I want to make 1.6 billion users of Office more efficient so that they can do better in their life. That requires a lot of time, energy, effort, and money. If you found this video useful, you can support my mission by clicking on the thanks button. Oh, by the way, before you go, here is another video I created which talks about word styles, and that's another very important thing you should know in Word. So why don't you have a look at that as well? So that's it for now. See you next time.